Greetings slashing friends, if you want to play a mage on Last Epoch 1.0, this one will be very good working on cold damage over time. You'll see that you can easily kill anything from creeps to bosses from the start up to the endgame. If you like the content, don't forget to subscribe and big thanks for that. Let's start with the skill with the Frost Claw, and you want to have this one to have some ward when you cast Frost Claw, and here the mana cost reduction, this one to have a chance to apply Frostbite, and this one to increase the duration of Frostbite. You also want to get at the bottom in order to have this one which will hit the same target, and this one to proc Ice Barrage, our second spell, and this one to have increased efficiency of Ice Barrage. So it's important when you get some levels to get this node, and you want to play of course the Ice Barrage as a second spell. For this one you'll have the fact that projectile can pierce enemies and apply Frostbite when they pierce. You also want to get this one in order to increase its efficiency against bosses, and this one to have increased failure rate, this one to get also some ward when you have the Ice Barrage. You'll be playing Glacier as a support spell, you want to get some mana cost reduction, mana cost here too, and then you'll have the fact that you have a nice vortex. You also want the fact that you gain the Rime buff in order to increase global damage over time, this one to have the effect of Rime, this one the Rime duration, and this one to have a nice vortex. You also want to increase the chance to get a greater ice vortex by putting the 2 remaining points here. For the mobility spell you want to play teleport, and you'll have increased armor just here, stats duration, and this one for the freeze rate multiplier. You also want here to have some cooldown on your teleport. Finally, you want to have the flame ward with the fact that it will trigger itself if you are stunned, this one to have some damage reduction, and this one for the mana efficiency. You want to get there in order to have also some mana efficiency and duration, and the fact that it will be turned into a cold spell. You also want the remaining points here in order to boost its damage. Even if it's in fire, it will be turned into cold with this node. Now for the gear you have several uniques which are interesting. First one, this belt which will be very good as we play around wards. Then you have these boots in order to apply Frostbite and to have some cold penetration. You also have this one which will increase Frostbite duration, apply Frostbite and give you some ward freeze rate and so on. Lastly, you have this one which will convert some of your heals into ward when you cast a spell. For the rest of the stuffs you want to get some damage over time, intelligence, apply Frostbite and so on, and you can also get a bit of mana or vitality if you need. For the idols you want to have this one which will grant you increased cold damage and will be very good, and this one as we don't have any critical strike damage in order to boost your damage. For the rest you want to get some vitality, resistances, frostbite and so on. Finally, for the blessing, you want to have some spell damage leech as heals, this one for the freeze rate multiplicator, critical strike evidence, chance to apply frostbite on it and armor. Now for the skill tree you want to get 8 points for the increased cold damage, some intelligence and resistances, and some heals and mana. You also want 3 points to have the cooldown just here, and for the sorcerer you want to have some mana, armor, also some mana and regen, and this one for the cold damage, freeze rate, and this one for the penetration and the leash. You also want the damage over time here, and 1 point just here to have the inside buff, you don't need another point, and 5 points for the spell damage and mana regen. You also want on the Rune Master here the heals, some regen just here, this one 2 points in order to unlock here the fact that you'll have increased damage over time. You also want 1 point here in order to unlock this one, get some ward, and this one for the heals and the bonus. Finally, you want here to have some bonuses with your catalyst, with intelligence and some damage reduction from crits. I'll let you enjoy the gameplay in Corruption 150, and the idea is that you'll be spamming Frostclaw in order to kill mostly everything, and when things get a bit harder you have your 2 other spells. Otherwise the gameplay is quite simple, use teleport for the mobility and the warding if you are in trouble. Thanks for watching this video, I hope that you'll enjoy this build, and as usual if you have any questions feel free to post in the comments. Don't forget that you have the tools and everything that you need on the link below the video.